Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to do an overview of the tools available to you here on ScanxScout. So right now we're in the Analyzer tab up here. You can see on the top left. You guys are going to see right away here that the stuff you guys have available to you is going to save you a tremendous amount of time. A lot of the stuff that you guys have been doing in the past, you guys have been doing manually. You guys have been creating everything step by step, different platforms, different pages, or having different tools open. And as you guys can already see here, I'm sure you have so much available to you right on one page. So we're going to jump right into it, and I'm going to explain to you guys what each and every section is. So over here on the left, we have our Amazon category. So all this information that you see here is information pulled from Amazon itself. So we have our title right here. And if you notice, it changes. So you can see right there, there's a hyperlink. So I'll go ahead and show it to you guys right now. This title itself is clickable. So if you want to see the item, then you don't have to copy the UPCs like before, or let's say like I'm doing right here, like pull the whole item name and then copy and paste. You guys can just go from here, click it, and right away you guys can see that it pulls up. And you even got your ScanxScout Chrome extension already loading. So if you guys want to get to work with the item right there, it's literally one click away. And then off to the right here, you can see the copy button. So let's say you didn't want to copy the name to plug it in somewhere else, or you didn't want to plug it into Amazon because you already had it open or whatever, then it's as simple as just clicking that and you can see the title's already clicked. And then just to the right of that, we have the little star. So if I click the star right now, you guys will see at the top here that it was marked as favorite. It showed up there temporarily. In another video, I'm going to be telling you guys what the favorites is and how that relates to you guys and how you guys can use it. It's right over here just to the right of the Analyzer tool. But just for your guys' informational purposes, whatever you want to add to favorites, just hit that star and it'll throw it on the list. Further down, we have our listings number, we have our ASINs, and then just below that, we have our UPCs. And as you guys can see here, we have copy buttons for both in case you want to do that. And then just below the UPC, you see alternate UPC. So as an example of how you guys could use this, let's say you had an item that was sold as a single item, but also came in some sort of a case or a bundle. This is the case where you would be using the alternate UPC. For example, let's say you had a water bottle. The barcode and the UPC is going to be specific to that single bottle of water. But I'm sure we've all seen in stores like Walmart, Target, all these whatever, that most people buy water bottles in cases, especially if you're taking it home, bundle, whatever. The actual case is going to have a different barcode and a different UPC. So if you guys want to use that, that's what this little section here is for. Let's say you happen to know the code and it's different by a little bit. You guys could go up here to the UPC, copy, go down here, paste it. Let's say it was different by like 3 digits. Just plug that in, click the little plus button right here. And then down below here, we see update available. Click update. And then right over here, we see it appear. So remember, I plugged in the 3 zeros and changed it from the 312, and then it'll show up right here. So it's as easy as that. You guys can see it right away. Just below that, we have category. So this is going to be the category that this item belongs to in relation to Amazon and how Amazon labels all of that stuff. So this is important for you guys because in some cases, obvious, yes, a dog toy is going to be in pet supplies. That's not really something that takes a lot of thinking. But this allows you to know for sure how Amazon regards that product. And in the event that you guys are looking at an item that belongs to a category that's currently off limits to you, you guys cannot sell items in that category yet, you're going to know right away. So this is going to save you time if you're doing your research on an item and you find out, oh, it belongs to the pet supplies and I can't sell pet supplies. Well, now all that time's wasted. So if you know the categories that you can't sell in yet and you see the category come up, then boom, you can move right on to another item. Below here, we have weight given in pounds and then dimensions of the actual item, as well as the volume in cubic feet. So this is also important for you guys because Amazon's going to charge you the storage fee based on the volume, based on the cubic feet. So if you guys know those numbers, then you can take this right away and figure out whether or not it's worth it for you guys or start looking at your fees. And then just below that, we have set and bundle. And we see this item sold as single. Now I'm gonna show you guys something here because every so often the item might be shown as single, but in reality you might be looking at, let's say, 2 or 3 items in a bundle, but the program just isn't indicating it yet, or the page isn't indicating it yet. It's a super easy fix. Just go to the little left right here where the pencil is, click it, you're gonna see it come up. You got a little drop down menu. We have single and set. So just for example purposes, obviously this is a single item, but for example purposes, we're going to click set. Let's say there was actually 2 or 3 of them. We'll just put 2. Click save. And much like the other one, you'll see update available. You can click update. And now if we look here, instantly it's changed it and we have a set of 2. All right, so I'm going to explain why that's important later when we move on to another section. Next bit we have over here is the supplier details. So instantly we see the supplier name. In this case, we have Walmart. And then we have the price that's being offered by that particular supplier. And then just below here, we have the labeling again for the supplier name. If you notice over here, this turns into the hand for a hyperlink. So when you guys are loading your supplier list, there are sometimes links available to the actual site for that supplier. So if that's in your guys' list and you load the list into your ScanxScout program, and then when you're labeling the columns, you label it as a link, the program will recognize that and it'll give the hyperlink to this thing so that you can click this title and it'll take you straight to that site. So that's another feature that you guys have just to save you time. Below here, we have the name. That's the name of the actual item according to the supplier. So obviously we have Amazon's name over here, and then we have how Walmart has it over here. Then set or bundle. In this case, this item's sold as single, so it's indicated as single. The single price, so this is the price that they're selling the item to you for. And then below here, we have quantity. So this indicates how many of these items are currently available, how many of these items the supplier has in store at the time. So this allows you to see whether it's even in stock or not. Moving on to the right, we have the FBA category, the Fulfilled by Amazon category. If you notice over here to the right, we have a similar category, that's just FBM. So I'm going to take you guys through all the little categories here in FBA, and we'll go one by one how this pertains to you guys. First one here, we have the minimum, and then we have the buy box price. So you guys already know the buy box price. The minimum here is just the next price given after the buy box price. So whatever listings after that. So in some cases, it might be the same price as the buy box price. You guys might be looking at the same numbers. In other cases, you might see a gap. It might be a small gap. Like here, we only have a 1 cent gap. In other items, you might see like whole dollars in a gap between the buy box and the minimum. And then below here, we have the sell price. The sell price pretty much going to coincide with your buy box price. And then below here, we have fees. So these are Amazon's fees. These are the fees that they're going to be charging you for fulfillment, the sales commission, Amazon's monthly storage fees. So all of that is indicated right here. And then below here, we have profit. Now we have a couple indicators that are showing you guys, hey, this probably isn't a good item to be selling, at least at the moment. First of all, you have a red box, and then additionally you also have your little negative sign next to the 884. So if you guys were to be selling this item with the numbers you had here, you would literally be losing money. So this shows you right off the bat, hey, maybe not the best item to be selling right now. And then you also have your margin indicator with percent, and that's always going to be in your little blue box. Here we have a negative, so not a good thing. If it was a good thing, then there'd be no negative sign. Your return on investment, same thing. We have the percent indicator, and then in this case, a negative. So again, you guys would be losing money in this case. Real quick, we're going to skip over to the expenses right here. So these are not the same as fees. So I want you guys to understand that the expenses here are your expenses. So remember I said the fees over here are the fees charged by Amazon. The expenses here, if you look up here at the top where my mouse is, those are all the numbers that you plugged in for things like transportation, shipping, maybe some sort of sales tax, packaging, bubble wrap, things of that nature. So those are expenses that you've incurred one way or another preparing the item. So that's indicated right here according to the numbers that you guys plugged in right here. So it is important to be as accurate as you can. And then just above expenses, we have the buy cost. So the buy cost is going to be the aggregate sum of the expenses and then the price of the item. Now remember I said I was going to return to this because it is important to look at one particular detail. Remember at the beginning of this, I changed this to a set of 2 just for example purposes. So this is obviously a single item, but if you, let's say this thing was actually 2 items and I changed it to a set of 2, the single price for one of these is $7.15, but the program is going to take it as a set of 2 and say, oh, okay, so the sum that I need to be taking is not $7.15, I need to be taking $14.30 and then adding $2.09. And if you guys crunch those numbers real quick, you're gonna see that $14.30 plus $2.09 is indeed $16.39. So right here, you can see the program already took into account doubling the single price, then adding the expenses that we plugged in earlier and giving your buy cost. You guys could do those numbers on your own, or you could just take advantage of the fact that the program has it laid out here for you already. Next, we have our Amazon category. So AMZ, this is just indicating whether or not Amazon is a seller. So if Amazon is a seller, then you'll see something different. If not, then you'll have the no. I'm gonna scroll down here and show you guys something here. So in this case, Amazon is a seller. And then we have the price indicated right here. And then we're just gonna go ahead and continue with this example. If you look below here at offers, this is how many people are selling this item. So if you look over here, again, change to a hyperlink. So the cool thing about this is you guys don't just get to see how many people are selling this item, but if we click it, we're going to see who exactly is selling the item. So in this case, we have the lists right here. Now, this is cool for you because you guys get to see whether or not your competition is some individual seller like yourself, or if you guys are working against a whole corporation or some huge organization that might potentially push you guys out of the space. So it allows you guys to analyze whether or not it's even worth looking at that particular item. Now, it is important too for you guys to realize that this 2 indicated right here only pertains to FBA. So if we look over here, we have another 2 for the FBM category. That's the number for FBA and then the number for FBM. So you guys would be looking at something like these 2 numbers combined. So it splits it per category. And then if you guys look at estimated sales, then as you can see, it's not available right now, but that is a feature that we have coming up in the future. And what that's going to basically give you guys is a way to look at how many units are being moved per month. So we'll have that available for you guys, and you guys can see how much is moving. Again, like I said, this over here, you guys look at the top, it says FBM. This over here is the same exact thing that I went over, just it applies to FBM versus FBA. And then if we look between the 2, we have the sales rank. So some of you guys might know this by a slightly different title. It's going to be BSR, your best seller rank. So this number right here is the actual real-time BSR for this item in Amazon. So this is not a number pulled from a week or a month or a year ago. This number is real time. And then if you look at the 90, the 83, and the 80 here, what these are the BSRs for 30, 90, and 180 days respectively. So the cool thing is you guys actually get to look and see, hey, maybe this is a hot item right now, but how did it do over an extended period of time? Is this an item that's done well, over a month, a few months, or potentially even several if you guys wanted to crunch those numbers, because that'll allow you to see whether or not it's worth touching now and continuing to sell it, or if it just looks good right now for some reason or another, but it's actually not worth it in the long run. And then if you guys look over here at reviews, everyone's familiar with what stars are, but you also don't just have the average review, you guys have the number of reviews total. So you guys can see here that we have a good set of numbers, over 42,000. So that's a good set of numbers to look at, because you guys can see that you don't just have an average of almost 5 stars. You got about 4.5 stars between 2 or 3 people, because 2 or 3 people that were happy with the items, great, but it might in actuality be not so good of an item. It might actually be low quality, and these people just have low standards, and so they were like, yeah, sure, 5 stars, 4 or 5 stars, whatever, we like it. And in actuality, it's actually not a good item. But if you're looking at 42,000 people, it's doubtful that 42,000 people are going to give such a high review for low quality items. So it's probably a good item. Now I want to return back to something over here in the supplier detail, because the few examples that I went over here as I was scrolling through, you guys are going to notice that all of these just have the single bar here. We got Walmart for 402, Walmart for 438, Walmart 612, and so forth. But if you keep scrolling, eventually you're going to hit an item that has a little exclamation mark like this. Now, it's easy to skip over. You might just breeze over and be like, oh, maybe there's something with the listing or the ASIN or whatever. This is actually going to be a super, super good tool for you guys to utilize. So you guys are not going to want to skip over these. So if we actually click that and it drops down, you guys are going to notice, hey, there's 2 different suppliers here. Now, you guys can already see the difference in price. We got Target selling this at $146, but we have Walmart selling it at $520. So if you guys are trying to figure out which one is more profitable, you guys can look over here and see it right away. The cool thing is, however, ScanxScout is already programmed to default to the most profitable one. So you guys are already going to see that the program's going to show you whichever ones gives you more bang for buck. So in this case, it's Target. Obviously, there's a good gap in between it. But this does serve as a backup. So let's say, for instance, Target was out of stock. So yeah, Target is selling it at a good price, but if Target's out of stock, then Target's out of stock. There's not really much you can do about that till Target gets it back. But you guys could look at Walmart and say, oh, hey, maybe Walmart's selling it. Let me see what the numbers are. So you see the quantity here. Walmart has 53, so you guys could go for it if you want, but obviously we probably wouldn't, because over to the right here, negative and the box is in red, so probably not the most profitable. But let's say you guys had the reverse situation. So for example, let's say you guys were selling this item, but your supplier was Walmart this whole time. Now imagine you guys were selling this item and you guys were buying it from Walmart for $5.20 for, who knows, maybe months or longer. And the whole time Target had been selling it for $146. Think about that, guys. If you're moving hundreds or even thousands of these and you're buying it for $5.20, you could be getting it for $146. Think about how much money you're leaving on the table, or how much money or profit you guys are skipping over by the fact that you simply just didn't know that someone else had it for less. So by going and loading your suppliers list and then loading your information and stuff like that, and then plugging and playing, and then coming over to your analyzer tool here on ScanxScout, and then in some cases finding the ones that have this little orange exclamation mark, you guys can check up and in a way re-verify whether or not you guys are really getting the most bang for buck on your item, because obviously not every item is just going to have one supplier. You guys might have multiple suppliers. So obviously, if you guys are in the business to make money, then you're going to want to have the best deal possible so that you can make that money in there. And then if we go up here, you guys already saw right away, we have a lot of different filters. That's going to help you guys save a lot of time as well, because I mean, if we look at this, We have 31 pages and a whopping 1,538 different listings. That's a lot for you guys to go through. And if you guys are trying to get this done and you guys only have an hour or two, you're not going to be able to go through all 31 pages in 1 to 2 hours. You guys want to go straight to whatever is going to fit you, whatever is pertinent to you guys in particular. So you guys can go over here to the right where it says more filters, click it, expand it. You guys are going to see you have more options available to you right away. And then you can go down to different suppliers. You guys can plug in your listings. You guys can change and put minimums and maximums if you want to for the prices and the percents for FBA or FBM, whichever one applies to you guys. You have your return on investment over here, the sellers. So this allows you guys, for instance, to say, hey, I want a certain minimum, so I know this is moving for one reason or another, but I don't want to be competing against the whole world. So I'm gonna max this out so that my competition is only limited to a certain number of people. And then from there, you guys could go, like I showed you earlier, and see, okay, there is only 5 people selling it, but are those 5 people Amazon, Walmart, and some other big company, or are they 5 individual sellers? So you guys can start crunching those numbers super quickly. And then obviously you guys know that the buy box is going to be occupied by Amazon pretty much every time. So if you guys want to skip over that and not even bother with that problem, you can go straight to Amazon, not a seller. So we click this right here. For example, we're going to hit that. This page is going to refresh, and the results that we're going to see here are instantly going to be all the ones that Amazon is not a seller. So if we look right over here, Amazon no, Amazon no, Amazon no, so on and so forth. So then you guys can start plugging and playing through those. All right, so we went over a lot today. We went over all the different things that you guys have in your analyzer here, analyzer tool here. We went over the different sections, the different categories that Amazon and the suppliers give you, as well as the tools you have in your FBA section. We went over all of your filters. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to leave a comment. And if you guys want to go ahead and give it a go, there is a trial option as well. So this allows you guys to actually test out everything that I just showed you for a certain amount of time and see how well this can actually up your guys' numbers, up your guys' profit. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.